So, Dehkia Hystria, the twin brother of Dehkia Hystria, pretty much the same copy-paste grinding spot, the same drop rate, kinda the same money per hour, pretty much the same everything, except it looks different and it drops a different treasure piece. So that's your long story short. Feel free, that's it. That's my Valentine's Day gift for you. End of the video. See you next time. It's honestly a very simple spot. Again, just like Arknights. The only mechanic to look out for is the bird, the thing that makes a purple cone and then does a bunch of damage. You can avoid it if you want. It's squishy. It counts as a normal monster. It drops normal trash. So just, kill those or avoid them. Actually, no, you have to kill them. I remember. I tried once to ignore them, see how many of them can actually spawn, and I had up to four at the same time. And obviously, if their AoEs overlap, they could kill you. So that's pretty much the only real mechanic. Other than that, you get waves of monsters with one Bolton or Elton or both per wave. Those are the mini elites, but it doesn't really matter. It's again very simple, just like Arknights, and about 4 times per hour or 5 times per hour you will get the actual boss, the big one that spawns, and let's just say he has a mechanic that can one-shot you. I believe it's the 4th time he hits the ground. I still didn't quite figure out exactly how it works, but he can one-shot you with the big flashy, I believe again 4th bonk on the ground, the big AoE. That will one-shot you even through block. I tried to block it. I think the counter is just to CC the boss. Let me know in the comments if it works in a different way. The way I do it is you either deal enough damage to just kill him before he gets to do the annoying part, or I believe you CC the boss while he's trying to do the big one-shot mechanic. Once he dies, he spawns a lot of Boltons and Eltons, the elites, so a huge wave. Those can also kill you if you just sit too much in place, because it makes sense, right? Just too many monsters. Other than that, it's a pretty safe spot. I don't know if it's safer than Arknights. I think it's, in my opinion, if I am to rate them, they are the same, but Hystria is just very slightly more dangerous than Arknights. And yeah, that's about all there is to it. Good luck finding a rotation, because there are only 2 places, 2 Dehkia spots per server, and it seems like this place is overrun. I imagine because everyone wants Deboreka's and we have a drop rate event. For me, it was kind of a nightmare to try to find a rotation. There were even people who asked me for duel for spot, if you can believe that. So yeah, let's look at some numbers. The monster AP cap here is 1000, that's what you aim for, with 70% cap, so AP still matters after that. In this case, I guess you have no choice but to get more AP, because they don't have any type of species. You cannot get human damage or demi-human damage or Kama damage. They are just standard animals. Surely they look like animals, am I right? This is my current gear with the new artifacts. I have the Watch Your Back set, which in this case I suppose it works fine because monsters cannot get knocked down, so maybe back attack helps. Probably I should just get the crit rate once someday. Regardless, 1063 AP with myself AP buffs, journals, crystals, again standard crystals, the expensive set that eventually everyone will have. Well, at least I believe this is best in slot stuff, just to do damage, critical and stuff. Add-ons, if you don't play Guardian, you don't care. And consumables, let's just say, just like at Arknights, don't use a perfume. It's honestly not worth it because waves are set in stone. They just have a set spawn. So if you clear too fast, just like if you look here in this case, you will wait 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds for the next wave to spawn, so you don't really gain any benefits. If you're in a city, you can get the church buffs, but don't waste your house buff, it's not worth it. Same with the horse buff, you cannot bring the horse inside, so why bother if you plan to grind more than 1 hour? So I guess you would use these, the bare minimum. And that brings us to money per hour, the Garmoth version first. 21,000 trash per hour average on yellow level 2 loot scroll, 1.1 billion per hour average. Not the best, but again, it's a treasure spot, so it's understandable that the money is kinda meh. I had this session with only 45 minutes because something went wrong. I don't remember exactly what, but node were started, I think, maybe, or I got duel for something happened and I couldn't finish the hour. For these hours here, I extended past 1 hour so I can spawn the 5th boss so I can get a bunch of trash, like 800, 900 trash, and that big wave of monsters. It seems like this is the way to grind. In my opinion, I would recommend you to do this, just so you can squeeze that 5th boss if you plan to only do 1 hour sessions. The last one was a failure because oh yeah, this is where the node war started, and I was literally denied my last boss. It was supposed to just at any second spawn, but it didn't. So meh hour, and I also tried Succession, which I didn't perform as well on Succession Guardian, let's just say. Regardless, I got 1 Debo in 6 hours and 45 minutes, so probably normal for most people, but in my opinion below average drop rate. If I look at Garmoth Global data and I refresh it, it's still bugged. Something happened to this patch, just prices don't work, so ignore this. Let's pretend it's 1.1, 1.2 billion per hour with 20,000 trash per hour average. So 20 to 21 is what most people should expect, and 1 Debo every 4 hours, just like Arkman. On the Excel side, 296% average drop rate, so mostly capped, let's say, because drop rate event and dent buff. Trash per hour breakdown, it's the same as Garmoth, the exact same numbers, except, oh, I forgot. Right, 825. I have to add it manually because it automatically imports the base white price. So this is the money per hour raw with what I got, only 1 Debo in 6.5 hours ish, subtracting the 80 million for the lantern, but still not subtracting any of the money for my consumables. I did run perfumes just because, but I would recommend it not to, and estimations with higher speed, 23,000 trash per hour average from my 21. If I put here 2 Debos, this is how the prices change. If I put 3 Debos in 6.5 hours, then it starts to look decent. It's interesting how even with 3 Debos, the money is just kind of, it's not that good. 4 Debos in 6.5 hours, now it's maybe looking, now it's starting to look decent. So again, it's a treasure spot. I don't expect insane results. You're here just if you specifically need Debos and you cannot buy them, you come here or at Arkman. If you don't need them, at least maybe you need the treasure pieces, and if you don't need either, just don't bother. For the Agris Efficiency, I tested it the same way as I did with Arkman, by basically, it's 100 Agris per monster, so I just tracked my monsters killed per hour, and then I paper mathed it into the proper usage, so because I don't have 100,000 points to burn like every 3 days or so, right? So I had to take away the trash from the bosses. In this case, for this run, I got four of those big bosses where Agris again doesn't work for the boss, so I have to subtract the trash, and it gives me this trash per hour without bosses, which results in this one once I scale it up slightly to match, this monsters per hour, because this was the original test. I'm starting to ramble, but the point is 260-ish thousand Agris per hour you would need to do a full hour on Blue Plus Agris, for example. Efficiency 100% because you loot everything, and 165 million silver per all of your Agris is what you would make. Again, purely from Agris. Where does that put Hystria? Pretty much here. Again, it's literally like Arkman. It's the same amount of points used per monster. It's kind of the same trash per hour as well. It's just that the trash itself is just very, very slightly more expensive. So it makes it a little bit more efficient. But compared to an actual Agris spot, like Jade, or the new area I'm currently reviewing, the Izrahid Highlands, obviously it's not an Agris spot. For the loot scroll efficiency, let's just say it's at 70%, which is really good in my opinion. Well, I guess first trash, it's the same scaling as Arkman, 1.44. I bumped it to 46 because the Boltons and Eltons, the elites, drop a bit more trash, just like in Arkman. You might get 10, 14, 16 trash, and then you have the big boss, which obviously is also 50%. So anyway, 70% for efficiency with 1 Deboreka Earring in 6.5-ish hours, which is good. It's really good. I would use yellow loot scroll. The problem is if I go back here and I put 3 Debos, for example, in 6-ish hours, so 1 every 2 hours, and I go back here, now it's at 58%, and this number will just keep going down and down. let's say I have 4 Debos, now it's 54%. So, you know, the efficiency drops the more rare items you get. And for experience, Dehkia Hystria. The Dehkia Hystria is about here, which is basically a copy-paste of Akman within margin of error. Let's just say I got a bit less trash, a bit less monsters per hour at Hystria, so you know, if I could grind Hystria just very slightly faster, they are virtually identical, which means it's acceptable experience, but nothing groundbreaking. It's not Gyfins, it's barely within the Elvia territory, and then skill points suck. And yeah, that's about it. Happy Valentine's, or late Valentine's, because I have a feeling this will come out tomorrow, the video. It was a fun spot. I got my Debo, I got, you know, the one Debo, and I know I overstacked it, don't cry too much, but in the end, I got my try Debo. It did succeed, so I did make my stonks well worth it to overstack it. Let's just say, if I account for that, tapping my duo Debo to try, then I basically made 12 billion silver in 6-ish hours value-wise, so I made 2 billion per hour, plus 1 billion from the actual spot. Does that mean I can claim Dehkia Hystria is 3 billion silver per hour? That is what I made. I'm not lying, so... In any case, it was a nice experience. Am I gonna come back here? Nah, most likely no. I don't plan to make Debos. I have too many areas I want to visit, so happy grinding. See you next time with the Israhid Highlands. The new spot. Fun spot too. Catch you then. Or on stream. Drop by. Say hello. Right? Bye.